What's up YouTube? It's your boy Naughty Nev, and now it has been very long since I last uploaded a video. I have just been very busy, and at the same time I just need to get myself my own microphone because I do not want to upload some videos with bad audio. So guys, the uploads will be coming very slowly, but here I provide you with another replay for today, and we have Cyber Dragon's Post Alliance Insight going up against Mimighoul. Without wasting any time, let's hop right into the video, and we have Mimighoul going first, and they open D-Shifter, Mimighoul Maker, Kashtira Birth, Mimighoul Dragon, and Mimighoul Fairy. In our hand we have Fenrir, Clockwork Knight, Corbett Grave, Cyberdark Worm, and Kashtira Unicorn. Not a very good hand for us, but let's see how it goes. So opponent enters the main phase and they will activate Shifter. They will normal summon Mimighoul Dragon. Mimighoul Dragon will search the Mimighoul Dungeon. They will activate Mimighoul Dungeon and use its effect to search for Mimighoul Archfiend. Next they'll use Maker. Maker will choose a Mimighoul Slime and I believe another Mimighoul Archfiend, and we get Mimighoul Slime set on our field and our opponent gets to special summon the Archfiend. Archfiend will flip Mimighoul Slime, and Slime will allow our opponent to special summon Mimighoul Master from the deck, and on summon its effect it will search for another Mimighoul Dragon. Opponent will use Mimighoul Archfiend just to set to our field, and next our opponent will then Xyz summon into Mimighoul, Giant Mimighoul, sorry. They will use its effect, detach one material, and then they can, if it's Xyz summoned, they can add a Mimighoul card, and here they will search for Mimighoul Room. This trap card is important for Mimighoul as it will enable them to floodgate us since they have the field spell. So while we control a face down monster, we cannot normal summon. Opponent will activate Fairy to special summon to their field so that they can Xyz summon into Mimighoul Throne. This card serves as a disruption, which says during the main phase they can target a Mimighoul Master they control, equip this card to it as an equip spell that gives it 1000 attack. Then you can return cards from the field to the hand up to the number of materials this card had. So our opponent will be able to bounce 2 cards since it currently has 2 materials. They will set Mimighoul Room, and then we start our turn drawing into Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is really good against Room, so I'm glad that we drew into that, but we still can't do much here. Don't have any Cyber Dragon plays. So in the main phase we start off, I flip Mimighoul Archfiend because I need to clear up my board to special summon my Kashtira monsters. So what will happen is Mimighoul Archfiend will allow opponent to draw a card and we discard a card. On resolution, opponent will activate Mimighoul Room and I hit them with the Ash Blossom. Next I will special summon Unicorn. Unicorn effect will search for Birth. I activate Birth. When I normal summon Fenrir, then my opponent uses a Mimighoul Throne effect to bounce the Fenrir to our hand. I'm not sure if my opponent was able to bounce 2 cards. Up to the number. Okay, so opponent just wanted to bounce the Fenrir back to our hand. Then on res we use Unicorn effect. We will banish the other copy of Giant Mimighoul from their extra deck. Enter battle phase, attack into Giant Mimighoul, and then I set Call by the Grave and we pass. Opponent will start their turn. They will activate Raidsorth to search for Kashtira Unicorn, activate Birth, then they will normal summon Unicorn, switch their Mimighoul Archfiend to attack. I believe, unless I'm wrong, okay, no, I think it's the field spell that boosts their attack. So they enter battle phase, attack into a Kashtira Unicorn, and then opponent will attack us with Unicorn, use its effect to banish our Fiendsmith Requiem face down, and attack with Archfiend just to deal with us 2100 damage. I'm not sure, can't remember which is the card that gives them the attack boost. I could be wrong, but yeah, anyway, we will carry on playing. Next our opponent will search for Kashtira Theosis, link summon into Silhouette Rabbit to set Azurune from the deck. Opponent will activate Birth to reborn the Kashtira Unicorn, and here I decide just to call by the Unicorn. Yes, it will still come back I believe. Yes, it will come back because Birth just says special summon a Castillo monster from grave or banishment, doesn't specify to target. But I just wanted the Castillo Unicorn to be negated so that at least my opponent isn't able to banish a card face down from our extra deck. Opponent will then activate Castillo Theosis to special summon Fenrir from the deck and then Xyz summon into Shangri-La? Yes, or Shangri-La, no idea. Opponent will then activate Mimighoul Dragon to set to our field. We start our turn, we draw into Fake Veiler, and then still in the draw phase, opponent will activate Azurune to special summon itself. Use Silhouette Rabbit since a monster, I believe. Or, which one is it? Yes, if a spell or trap card has been special summoned to the monster zone. There we go. Then use this effect to pop our Birth. In the standby phase, opponent will activate Shangri-La to special summon Fenrir from the extra deck, from the deck. And here I scoop, I cannot play through all that disruption. So we are now going first in game 2. And in our hand we open D-Barrier, Engraver, Unicorn, Hertz, and Claw. This is a very good hand. Opponent opens Talons, Imperm, Mimighoul Archfiend, Ash Blossom, and Mimighoul Fairy. So we enter the main phase, we special summon Unicorn, use its effect to search for Birth. Next I'll activate Engraver effect to search for Tract, and then Tract effect will search for Luri, we discard Luri, Luri's effect Engrave to special summon itself. We link into Requiem, and then when we use Requiem effect, our opponent will hit us with Ash Blossom, a good Ash target. But on res we use Unicorn effect, and we will banish their Mimighoul Throne. I think they played one copy, so I just got rid of it, just to get rid of one disruption. Next we proceed with Cyberdark Claw to search for Cyberdark Realm, Cyberdark Realm effect to search for Cyberdark Chimera, use Realm effect to normal summon our Chimera. And then here I normal summon Hertz, link summon into Clockwork Knight. So chain link 1 will be Hertz, chain link 2 will be Clockwork Knight. Opponent decides to drop the Imperm on Clockwork Knight. I believe that is not the right card. Should have saved that for Cyberdark Chimera to stop us from using Power Bond and materials in our grave to fusion summon. So we just search for Cyber Dragon. And here I decide to use Cyberdark Chimera, discarding Birth to search for Power Bond. And then link summon into SP using Clockwork Knight and Cyberdark Chimera. Chimera's effect will trigger since it was sent to grave to send Cyberdark Worm. Cyberdark Worm effect as cost will send a Cyberdark monster. We send Cyber Dragon Core. Then it will reborn itself, add Cyberdark Realm back to our hand. Here we then activate Power Bond. We have 2 Cyber Dragon monsters in our grave to fusion summon into Chimera-Tech Rampage Dragon. Chimera-Tech Rampage Dragon will mull Cyber Dragon Nashter and Cyber Jormungandr to our grave. Xyz summon into Nova. Nova effect reborn our Nashter. Nashter effect will reborn Cyber Jormungandr. Xyz summon into Infinity. Then use Jormungandr effect, shuffling back Nashter as cost to search for Polymerization. Then we activate Polymerization using Cyber Dragon and Cyber Jormungandr to fusion summon into Hero's Varag, the Mechanical Dawn. On its summon in the opponent's standby phase, we just recycle a card that has the effect to fusion summon. Set D-Barrier and we pass. Pretty decent board, especially with D-Barrier. Really works against Mimighoul. They are mainly an Xyz deck. Standby phase, we recycle our Power Bond. In the main phase, opponent will normal summon Mimighoul Archfiend, and I just decide to drop the D-Barrier calling Xyz. Opponent will activate Mimighoul Fairy to special summon herself to opponent's field, and on res we use Unicorn effect. Unicorn will banish the SP face down. Opponent will activate Talents, and I just immediately use Hero's Varag. Opponent uses Maker, and then I negate with Infinity. However, it took me some time, completely forgot. Just realized that since I called Xyz, it also shuts off my monsters. So Infinity cannot use its effect to negate. So Mimighoul Maker is actually going to go through. So yeah, this took some time. So instead, I decide to chain on resolution of Mimighoul Maker. So Mimighoul Archfiend will trigger to flip the face down, which is Dragon face up, and I decide to chain SP just to save 2 monsters. That would be SP and Hero's Varag. Dragon flips face up, and when it's flipped face up, it destroys all other monsters on the field that I control except Mimighoul monsters. And now, because my opponent can't really perform exceeds plays, instead opponent links into IP and then goes into access code. It is a pretty good idea because we do take 2100 damage off power bond, so our opponent thought maybe they can just kill us. However, it's just not enough. Opponent attacks us for 4300 and we're still alive. In the end phase, SP and Hero's Vorag comes back and we start our turn. We draw into D barrier. And yeah, here we can just clean up. So in the main phase, we activate Engraver and then we link summon into Requiem effect to summon another Engraver. Then we use Requiem to equip to Engraver, normal summon Nashta. Nashta will reborn Infinity, use Infinity effect to take access code, and our opponent will scoop. And now we are heading into game 3. We are going second, opponent's going first. And so in our opponent's opening hand, they open Mimighoul Archfiend, Kashtira Unicorn, another Unicorn, Dragon, and D-Shifter. We open Imperm, Cyber Emergency, Clockwork Knight, Cyber Dark Worm, and Cyber Dark Claw. So opponent enters the main phase, they activate Shifter, special summons Unicorn effect. I'm thinking whether to imperm it, but I guess rather not, because they still had 4 other cards in their hand, so I decided to save it. They'll search for birth, and next our opponent will normal summon Dragon, use its effect, and this is a really good imperm target, so we use the imperm on the Dragon, and opponent will activate birth, then use Mimighoul Archfiend effect to set itself to our field. Opponent will link summon into Silhouette Rabbit to set as a rune, and use birth effect, reborn the Unicorn. So in the end phase, and then we start our turn, we draw into Engraver. Pretty good draw, however, we are under Shifter, and our deck does rely on the graveyard, so Shifter does hurt us, and there's limited plays we can do. So in the main phase, activate Cyber Dark Claw. Luckily, it does not need to go to grave as cost, so we search for Cyber Dark Realm. On resolution, opponent will use Unicorn to banish our SP face down. We activate Cyber Emergency to search for Core. Normal summon Core effect. Luckily, we can normal summon because our opponent does not have the field spell in play. So we then search for another Cyber Emergency. And the reason for this is I need follow up, and because of limited players, at least I can try break my opponent's board. So we contact Fuse into Mega Fleet Dragon. Enter battle phase, we attack into Kashtira Unicorn, and we just proceed to end phase. Nothing much we can do. Opponent then draws into Kashtira Theosis, so still no Mimighoul play. So in the main phase, they will special summon Unicorn, use Theosis effect to special summon Fenrir. Fenrir is supposed to be in defense, which will be corrected just down the line. Fenrir effect will search for Unicorn, then use birth effect to reborn the Kashtira Unicorn from banishment. Then our opponent will normal summon the Unicorn in hand, I believe. Yeah, it's not negated, it just needs to be in defense. Cool. So that's, as you can see, busy correcting it and just annoying my friend for fun. Eventually our opponent decides to, I believe, Exceed summon into Shangri-La, and then enter battle phase. Attack with Unicorn effect will banish Requiem face down. And so our opponent swings in for some damage, especially attacking with Shangri-La. Now, Mimighoul Archfiend does not trigger because its effect only happens in the main phase. But however, when it's flipped face up, it is a mandatory effect. It just won't resolve. Sorry. Then main phase 2, opponent then brings out Zeus, which is another problem. But Zeus is a machine, and we have one way to get rid of it: contact Fuse. Okay. So we start our turn, we draw into Veiler. And in the standby phase, opponent will just activate Azrune, which is pretty good because opponent can use the Azrune against our Cyber Dragon, because Cyber Dragon says if only your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and is an inherent summon, so one way to get rid of Cyber Dragon. Now, keeping that in mind, I had to think what to do, had to get rid of Zeus and what to do. So I decided to use Cyber Emergency, but instead of Cyber Dragon, I just searched for Cyber Dragon Hertz. And then we normal summon Hertz. And here, under pressure, my opponent does use Zeus, wiping all the interruptions they have, and also they have no follow-up. Sure, I could just contact Fuse, but at least my opponent would have maybe Unicorn and also Azun can be used on another good target to negate the summon. But my opponent wasn't sure, was feeling maybe under pressure, so opponent uses Zeus to clear the board. Hertz goes to grave and Hertz trigger. Special summon search for Cyber Dragon, and then my opponent just scoops, and we were just checking what our next draw was and comparing what was in the hand. Now I still had play because I still had Cyber Dark Realm in my hand. I had Engraver. Sure, Requiem is banned, but maybe Engraver can be used for some other materials like SP. And I still had play, so I could still set up some interruption for the one card my opponent draws into, and can just get rid of Zeus by special summoning Cyber Dragon and Contact Fuse right there. So guys, that brings us to the end of the video. Cyber Dragon takes the win. So guys, if you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button, leave a like, leave a comment, and also guys, I would appreciate if you guys just subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out guys. Otherwise, till the next video, Naughty Nev signing out. Peace.